Romans chapter 14, verse 4. Who art thou that judgest another man's servant? To his own master he standeth or falleth. Yeah, he shall be holden up, for YAHAWASHI is able to make him stand. I want to give all praises and honor to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakah, Kodash, forgive me the spirit, to do this lesson. This is a follow-up lesson from my last lesson, okay? Faith is to stand, all right? And I broke down in my last lesson from the roots of the fear, okay, of a rooted tree, all right? And then you flourish from that. And then to stand, to keep your tree healthy and standing, you have to have faith. Otherwise, the different tribulations that come our way, all right, will dry you up, okay? It will uproot you if you don't have the faith, okay? We know through much tribulation shall we enter to the kingdom of heaven. So we have to understand this, all right? Let's read it again in Romans chapter 14, verse 4. Who art thou that judgest another man's servant? To his own master he standeth or falleth. Yeah, he shall be holden up, for YAHAWASHI is able to make him stand. And when you read in the story of Peter, which I'm not going to read right now, I'm going to get in a second. I'm going to read a couple precepts first. But when you read in that story, what happened? Peter sunk, and YAHAWASHI did what? He grabbed him to make him stand. All right. And there were some words that YAHAWASHI said, but I'll get that in a minute. Let's go to Galatians chapter 5, verse 1. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith YAHAWASHI have made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Right. Okay. YAHAWASHI made us free through faith. Okay. So if you don't keep that faith, you're not free no more. Okay. You get it? That's the only way you can be free and have that peace to stand, to be quickened, to be strengthened from YAHAWASHI, from heaven. Okay, let's go back and read the second half. And be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Right. And that bondage is talking about the letter of the law. Okay, that we were under. All right. But we have a better hope now through YAHAWASHI that made us free through his blood. Okay, which is faith. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. Thus says the Lord Yahweh by YAHAWASHI, stand ye in the ways and see. Stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? And walk therein, and you shall find rest for your souls. But they said we would not walk therein. Right. And the main point, okay, is to stand. Okay. The only way to get the old ways, which are the right ways, okay, the standard, how we supposed to act, all right, and strive to, is through faith. That's the only way, okay, to be able to stand and see clearly. Okay, otherwise, the different tribulations, the different things in your life is going to take you from this focus. It's going to take you from this understanding, okay, of being free through YAHAWASHI. Okay, now let's go into that story. Let's go to Matthew chapter 14. Let's start at verse 22. It says, and straightway YAHAWASHI constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And that multitude, when you read before this in the chapter, that multitude is talking about the 5,000 that ate, okay, the thousands of jakes that ate the fish and the bread that got multiplied, man, okay, for them to eat. All right. But when you read, you understand a lot of them, you know, was just there to eat, but they didn't believe. OK, they just wanted to be fed. OK, verse 23. And when he had sent the multitude away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, YAHAWASHI went unto them walking on the sea. Imagine seeing that, man. Verse 26. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, it is a spirit, and they cried out of fear. Oh, man, they were terrified. Okay, just visualize this, man. They were terrified seeing YAHAWASHI walk on the sea, man. They ain't never saw nothing like that ever in their life. Okay. Verse 27. But straightway YAHAWASHI spoke unto them, saying, be of good cheer, It is I, be not afraid. And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to YAHAWASHI. That's how much he believed in YAHAWASHI. That YAHAWASHI could do that, not just YAHAWASHI himself, but by believing in YAHAWASHI, we can do anything. So you got to read and really meditate on what it's talking about. Okay, you have to read in the spirit of receiving what the scriptures, okay, is putting down for you to receive, if you can receive it. All right. So that right there shows what? I'm saying it again, that we can do anything through YAHAWASHI. Okay, let's keep reading. I'll read that again, verse 29. And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to YAHAWASHI. Now imagine, okay, the other disciples, imagine them seeing this, man. They like, what the? Okay, imagine that. Verse 30, it says, But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. Now let's focus on this verse 30 here. Okay, but when he saw the wind boisterous, let's go to boisterous in the Google definition. It says of wind, weather, of water, wild, or stormy. Okay, so it was a strong wind. All right, it was boisterous. Okay, like a storm finna come through. Strong wind. So imagine him doing something that he's never done before. He's doing it through the strength of YAHAWASHI. Okay, YAHAWASHI gave him power to do it. He asked in faith. He received it because he believed he could through YAHAWASHI. He believed that. That's the only reason why he was able to do it. And the rest had to watch. Okay, because there's levels of faith. Okay, amongst the believers. Everybody don't have faith at the same level. Now, when you read these scriptures and you think about yourself, okay, what you should receive from it, think about it. Let's go back to verse 30. Read it one more time. But when he saw the winds boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. Okay, our eye has to be single towards YAHAWASHI. Okay, our eye has to be single to be able to sustain our strength, to be quickened, to not be distracted by things around us. Okay, that happened on purpose, man. The Lord did that on purpose to see if he was going to sustain his belief in his faith and what he was doing. Okay, it's a very thin line, man, when you're doing things like that, man. Anything can throw you off if you're not rooted in it, if you don't get rooted in it, if you don't focus on it. So Peter was beginning to sink. Let's go to verse 31. And immediately YAHAWASHI stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou little of faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? Right. So he started to doubt when the boisterous winds happened. Okay. But guess what? Nothing is impossible for YAHAWAH to do through us and for us. Nothing. It don't matter if that wind came. It don't matter. Okay. That don't mean you couldn't continue to do it. And that's the same thing for us. Things happen. That don't mean we can't continue to have faith and to stand. It's about standing. The Lord, YAHAWASHI, was teaching them how to stand. That's what he was doing. They were in school, man. He was teaching them how to stand so that when he went back to the Father, they were prepared to stand. They already feared the Lord. Okay. But they needed more of that cleaving. Okay. But you have to learn that. You have to go through situations to learn the power of cleaving. Okay. In the spirit versus a mortal man, just a mortal man in the world. We don't have no strength as just a mortal man in the world. We have to be quickened, but you can't be quickened unless you have faith in YAHAWASHI. Okay, unless you're standing. Okay, so whatever you're going through in your life, as you're standing in faith through YAHAWASHI, don't let things around you, don't let noise around you, don't let different storms around you throw you off. Okay, when you have the power in your hands. The Lord gave us power. We have to understand that. YAHAWASHI gave us power. So if you want to stand, you have to have the faith. But if you lose the faith and you start doubting, you will sink. That's what that represents. You will sink. You will not be standing. And how can you be saved if you're not standing when the just shall live by faith? Okay, so really, really meditate upon this, man. Okay, these different stories, we're supposed to really receive and be taught right to receive what we're supposed to receive from it. Okay, faith is to stand. If you lose faith, you will sink. It's that simple. So with that, I hope you're edified. I want to give our praises and honor to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakah, Kodash, forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to your Akim out there that's doing the truth in all sincerity. Shalom.